Merle on the move, got the flow so smooth. Spitting rhymes on the podcast, got nothing to prove. He's the host with the most, dropping knowledge every week. From the underground to the mainstream, making the street speak. Step on the stage, Merle grabs the microphone. Holding it down, he's in the league of his own. Interviews with the legends, the up-and-coming stars. No topic off limits, pushing the bars. Merle on the move, taking over the game. Keeping it real, never fake, never tame. Hip-hop podcast, bringing the heat. With Merle on the mic, grooving to the beat.
All right, welcome to the Merle on the Move show. This is Merle on the Move. All right, everybody, welcome to the program. I am Merle on the Move. Welcome this Saturday evening. And for those who listen to Sunday, welcome also. A lot of new subscribers. I appreciate it. The show has really been growing lately, and I really appreciate that. All the support, all the love I've been getting. I've started a business behind this, and this is not a hobby for me. This is a platform I've been growing for years, and I'm glad that I got a lot of people that's joining the journey of the MOTM movement, baby. MOTM, Merle on the Move. So once again, let me get a round of applause for that. I appreciate it. That being said, tonight's topics, I got to talk about what's going on in the headlines. A lot of big news. Iowa State is off this week, so I'm not going to really go over that. But in sports, big week for LA. Big week for LA sports. You got the Lakers. The Lakers won. The Lakers 2-0. So shout out to that. And also the Dodgers 2-0 in the World Series. The Dodgers are up 2-0 on the Yankees. They won last night. Great game, grand slam, home run, walk-off home run. And then they won tonight. 2-4 or 4-2, any way you want to put it. But so shout out to the Dodgers. And then the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams won Thursday night. They beat those Vikings. I got a couple co-workers that are Vikings fans, and I told them that we were going to win. Now, the Vikings should have beat the Rams, no doubt about it. No, not capping. They definitely should have beat the Rams, but they didn't. And I said, I got confidence in my team. There's no way that they was going to beat my team. My team is it's the Rams, baby. We doing it. So shout out to the Rams for winning. So LA is on it. They football, basketball, and baseball team all won LA. Shout out to that. So let me get into college sports. Deion, Colorado was up right now in Cincinnati. And like I said, Iowa State still 7-0. I think they dropped in the rankings to 10. But they're still 7-0. So we'll see what happens next week with them. And a lot of good stuff in entertainment. Entertainment happened. Because I'm getting to this little dirt. I'm talking about a little dirt. And one of the biggest topics I'm talking about is Trump and Kamala has been going on. Trump is on Joe Rogan. I'm going to talk about that. I got to talk about that. Which way do I want to swing this? Venom, the movie Venom came out. I haven't seen it. But, I'm definitely going to check that out, and I'll get back to you guys with some more information on that. But, yeah, Trump is on Joe Rogan. And I'm going to talk about immigration. When I talk about Trump, I don't know how y'all missing this. Do you understand? And a lot of people say, even Joe Rogan, when he interviewed him, a lot of people say that Trump be just capping. He just be talking like that. He's not going to do, he didn't do this when he was president before. What are you talking about? He has the ability to do it. That's what we're talking about. January 6th, he didn't think he would do that. And he said he was going to do it, but then he's trying to backtrack because he don't want to go on the trail because he ain't president no more. He can do it. Anyway, so Joe Rogan. Now, my guy, I like Joe Rogan. I'm a fan of Joe Rogan since Fear Factor. I watched him when he's on Fear Factor. But Joe said he wasn't going to have Kamala or Trump on his podcast. Joe Rogan has the biggest podcast in America, in the world, probably, but definitely in America. He's the richest podcaster, He is the bar when it comes to podcasting. If you're trying to get your podcast to a certain level, Joe Rogan is that bar. And I got all respect. He interviews a lot of people. He's a large platform. His interviews like 3 hours long, most of them, the good ones, and it gets millions of views. Joe Rogan said, he's on record. You can go listen to some archive. He said he wasn't going to have Trump. He said he didn't, he said he didn't dislike Trump, but he wasn't a fan. He didn't want to have Trump spewing some of the untruths. That's why he didn't want, Joe Rogan said he didn't want to have Trump on his podcast because he didn't want Trump spreading mistruths. So now, Elon Musk, you watched my show last week. Elon Musk was big subject in the news, and he was trying to give $1 million to people that would support Trump and sign this petition saying that you would support some movement they had going on. And Joe Rogan and Elon Musk are good friends, really good friends. I think his podcast, his episode got me because he smoked a blunt. I said it on my show several times years ago also that Joe Rogan and my man Elon Musk smoked a blunt. It was mixed with tobacco, but they smoked a blunt on the show. So they're good friends. And I'm sure Elon reached out to Joe. Joe probably didn't accept no money. Earlier I was thinking Elon paid Joe. It is a business move, but I don't know if Joe would take the money. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He probably got a moral thing. He says, show, don't have to, don't need the money. But Elon probably reached out and said, hey, man, give him a platform. And him being friends said, okay, I'll do it. But don't you got to do both sides, though? Anyway, if you listen to it, if you listen to the interview, I listened to it's 3 hours long. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the whole thing. So I ain't gonna, but Joe Rogan jumped right out the window, out the gate, saying that CBS was they didn't fact check Kamala like they fact checked him. A lot of stuff they said was false about the military not being in active duty in different parts of the world. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, Joe, what's up? But that's far fetched from what he been doing. And he said that they vilified him. Nobody president has been vilified. And I agree with that part. No president that I know of has been vilified as much as Donald Trump. And some of the stuff he said about how Whoopi and Joy, when he came on The View, how they was all friends, because he was a celebrity. And nobody thought, because I do remember, once again, I do recollect how the world was at one point in time. I do remember when Trump first started running in 2015 against Hillary, but first he was running against all the conservative Republicans. Remember? Mitt Romney and Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, and he was running against Herman Cain, and he was running against all these big time Republican politicians, seasoned politicians, and he was just a celebrity. And it was like 20 of them. It was 20. The thing was more than that at first, but it kind of came down. They kind of weeded a lot of them out. Came down to like 20 strong Republican nominees. It was 20 of them. George Bush's brother, Jeb Bush, he was governor of Florida. He was one of them too. And Trump made it through. People was like, he ain't got a chance. It was like, good for you, Trump, for trying to do something for the country. And he was an oddball and an odd duck, and nobody really believed in him. And a lot of people, like, you know what I'm saying, was like, it was trendy. It was like, yeah, look at Trump. Yeah, you're a businessman. He run a business. We need somebody who can run the country like a businessman. And it was the jokester, and he was funny, and he would say things, right? But then he started beating them. He started beating them because he was raising money. And he started beating them. And it became serious, came down to 8. Dropped down like to 10 or 8 of them or something like that. And he was still one of them. And they had started taking him serious, so then they started trying to come at him. Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham was calling him all kind of names and how he don't have no experience, how he was bankrupt and blah, 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 right? All his divorces and blah, blah, this, right? It was on him. It was on him. And he made it through it, you know what I'm saying? Because he snapped back. He was talking about their kids and about their family and about their wives, and it was funny because he was kind of a comedian because he could hit below the belt. They were still trying to talk about him, but they were still trying to be tactful because they was politicians. They represent the people. So they didn't want to, like, disgrace him. But he hit below the belt. He go straight for the top of how your wife looked and how your wife is fat and whatever. Trump go there. And some people like that, I don't, but there's people out there like, yeah, that's what I would have said. I'd have said the same thing, right? And he got to be the nominee for real, in real life. And then all the people that was on the Democrat side that was like, hey, buddy, yeah, you was one of us. You just, celebrity. You like us, come talk on our show, you got to follow. And, when this campaign is over, you come talk, come work with us, on Fox News and stuff like that and talk about your experience running for president. But they didn't really expect, even he didn't really expect, and I don't believe nobody in his family really expected him to win. Real talk. Nobody, I don't believe, really expected Donald Trump to win. Do I got a sound effect for that? Oh my God! Yeah, I don't think nobody really expected Donald Trump to win, including himself. But he did. He beat Hillary. Crooked Hillary, remember? And it wasn't just, it was the machine. It was that dude that was his campaign manager, that crazy dude, Paul Manafort, not Pam, he was part of it too, but the one dude, Steve something. Steve Bannon. That was his name. That dude. He was the dude. He was the dark dude. They helped spearhead that. And then that Benghazi thing with Hillary, when they the embassy or whatever, the Benghazi thing, the movie about it. That, in their server. And then the CIA dude said that, yeah, some stuff, she wiped her server. So everybody was like, oh, she hiding stuff. Oh, she's crooked, just like Trump said. And Hillary lost. And Trump won. And he was like, oh, snap, I'm the president. And he even said on Joe Rogan that he said, I'm an outsider. He said, so I had to pick good people that, I had to pick these people that was already kind of in place doing these things. And I had to trust that they would do what they said they would do, even though I didn't know these people. And then as I was working with these people, come to find out I don't like these people because they don't do what I say. I tell them to do something and they don't do it. They buck me. They say that's not a good idea. And then I have to fire them, and then I got to replace them with somebody, and they say that's wrong, and then they come out and talk about me and blah, blah, blah. And that's what he said. He said everybody that disagrees with him that he has to fire, then they talk about him because they don't like him, not because they disagree with him, and just because he fired him because they disagree with him. That's a narcissist. Look it up. That's what that is. If somebody doesn't agree with you, don't make them a bad person. That'll make them a liar. That'll make them not good at their job or stupid. That means that maybe it's a better way to do what you're trying to do. So maybe we should think of a better way. Or maybe it's a better way to go about what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Or maybe it just ain't a good idea. And maybe we should think about something different. And maybe we should take a different approach. That's what that means, bro. But he gets offended. His feelings is hurt. Because he's a billionaire and he was been handed a lot of stuff his whole life, his adult life, not his whole life, because his daddy did send him military school and he learned some structure, so he has some sound mind. But now he just, as an adult and throughout his young adult years and his older years, he's been handed a lot of things. It's been easy for Trump. He golfs. That's why he can't go golfing, because they had the assassination attempt. So anyway, I am going to finish that 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan. I hope Joe Rogan had some harder questions. He did I do want to talk about this. I did watch this part where he said about the weave. Y'all know about Trump, because I'm going to talk about some other stuff with Kamala and Beyonce and all that stuff either, because I don't want to just be on Trump too. Because the election's coming up, man. It's coming up in a couple weeks. And I ain't voted yet. I vote. And I know how they talk about how Obama, I'm talking about her, Michelle Obama was talking. And anyway, Obama got a commercial I just seen here on YouTube here a minute ago. So, and I know how Obama talking about how black men is talking about not voting for Kamala, maybe voting for Trump. I don't know who I'm voting for. Yeah, I said I wasn't voting for Trump. But let's talk about this weave. So look. I told y'all last week, if you watched the show, I said I like Donald Trump. I said this. I like Donald Trump. I just don't like him as president. I don't like him running nothing in my life, and I don't believe him. He's a dude that you would work with and be like, man, he finna be capping. Come on over. He funny. He come over. He gonna tell you some stories. It's gonna be far-fetched. It's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take up a lot of your time. You know what I'm saying? And he's the dude at work that can get away with it because ain't nobody else. Everybody else at work gonna gather around and hear the story, right? I'm telling you, story time. That's how you feel when you see Trump. Like when I see the clip, I don't want to even give him. I don't be wanting to give him no clicks, no press. If nobody does, but it's so entertaining, you have to do it. It's just part of it. So anyway, back to what I'm saying. So the weave. He said on Joe Rogan that, and he said this before, that he does the weave. He said he'll start talking about something, right? And then he'll go off and it'll go off to something else, right? And he'll grab onto a different subject of what he was talking about, but it leads somewhere else, and he'll be there for a while, and that part will be interesting, right? And it takes a person's attention about the original thing that was asked. Now he knows this. He's not lost about the original thing that was asked, but maybe he don't want to answer it right now or the way that they want to be answered. So he'll weave. He'll go somewhere else. He'll take that what you said and he'll go somewhere else with it to lead to maybe a different story or a different person or a different scenario, and then he'll take that part of that story and integrate it into what you asked him and make that his answer, to where you kind of confused. You didn't get the answer you wanted, or you didn't even get the answer you were looking for because he changed it. It's like the Matrix. He's trying to bend. I get it. He's trying to bend. He's altering what you wanted this. He's altering what you said to him and giving you an answer, but not the answer that you was expecting. But it's still an answer. So you can't say he dodged it, and you can't say it's a made up or not a made up scripted answer. It's off the cuff, right? And that's what people don't like. People don't like politicians because they get scripted answers, and that's what they say about Kamala, right? They say that, you know, and she said, they asked her, even Charlamagne asked her, why do you when people ask you why do you give scripted answers, you stick to the script all the time, why do you do that? Why don't you change? She said, because this is serious and I want everybody to know I'm saying the same thing all the time. I'm not changing. This is what it is. This is serious. I'm trying to hammer this home. I'm not going to be all over the place so you don't know where I'm going. This is where I'm at. I'm focused. And I get that. But at certain times, you do got to tailor it. You got to tailor. Like, I believe that I give great spiels. You know what I mean? I believe if I go in front of a stage or a group of people, it doesn't matter if you're from a farm. It doesn't matter if you're from the ghetto. It doesn't matter if you're from corporate America. It doesn't matter if you from suburbs, you know what I'm saying, or a factory. It doesn't matter. I know how to talk to people. I find you where you at. I don't. If I'm talking about technology and I'm down at the park with a bunch of brothers drinking 40s and playing basketball, they ain't trying to hear that. Possibly it might be one or two, but the group of them ain't. But if I'm talking to him down there and I'm talking about Jordan and I'm talking about Kobe and LeBron and I really know them and I got some real information, oh, they rocking with that. You know, maybe have some gear or something. Oh, yeah, you know, because it's pertinent to who I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. So that's what Trump be trying to do. He be trying to appeal. People like that. They like this. They like being spun. I was listening to it. Even Joe liked it, but Joe even had calling back. He's like, hey, let's get back. We getting sidetracked. Can we get back to what we was talking about? He said the weave is getting big. That's what Joe said. He said the weave is getting big, Mr. Trump. And that's what he does. And it's not good for a leader. And you're soft. And you're a soft guy that acts hard. And that's I don't like that. You act hard and you not, man. You gullible. You like people that like you. You and Elon Musk didn't get along, and now y'all do. Because he likes you, and he got money, and he can help you. I'm with you. So, oh, you with me? I'm with you, and that's okay too. But man, come on. But then if they ain't with you, it's off with their head. So back to I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna get back to this immigration thing at the end before I leave. But let me get and talk about Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm not convinced where I'm going with my vote. I do like a lot of the things she's saying, but I don't believe a lot of the things, because I'm actually feeling the effect of this economy. Literally, me, my family members, we're feeling the effect of this economy, this recession, or whatever you want to call it, hot inflation. And I don't know if her plan is going to help me personally, and that can be selfish. You know, and you can call Trump a authoritarian type person, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna say immigration. So I get it. I totally get it, and I'll be possibly on that list. Me and my people that look like me. So I'm gonna get to that in a minute, bro. I'm just talking about financially. If I'm just looking at a financial standpoint, not of a personal or ethical way, you know, just financial. Her plan, I don't know, is gonna work for me because she's talking about $25,000 for first time home buyers. It's not gonna fit me. I've already purchased a home before, so that don't fit me. It can fit my children, and that's a plus. Yeah, that's a plus, definitely there. So I gotta look at both sides of that. She was also saying about the taxes. You know, if you got a child under 2 or something like that, you get a big kick. That don't fit me. Can help my children one day, possibly. Um, Education bill. Now, I might want to further my education. That might help me. I've never had a school loan or anything like that, college loan. Um, the overtime thing, I don't know. I think she took that from Trump. Joe Rogan was saying that, but if that would definitely help me stop taxing overtime and don't tax Social Security from the elderly. That would help my father. If that would happen, though, now that would help. That would help me if they really passed. And they're just talking. That don't mean it's gonna happen. But if they would pass a bill saying they wouldn't tax overtime, that would help me personally. If they would pass a bill saying they wouldn't tax Social Security, because that's a double dip. That's stupid anyway. How can you take taxes out your check for Social Security and use all our money all these years, and I don't get none of that back until I get 65 years of age of older, and then when I start getting a small percentage of that money back monthly, you taxing that too? That's a double dip. That should be illegal. Probably is. Look into that. Get back to me. Let me know what y'all think about that. Type that in the comments. What y'all think about that? Is it illegal for the government to double dip? To take your income, to tax you for Social Security on your pay, take Social Security taxes out your paycheck, and then they use your money until you become 65 years of age or older, and then when you start to get that small percentage of that money back monthly, they tax it before they give it to you. Anyway, so she was in Obama spoke in Detroit. Eminem brought him out. That was dope. Obama did Lose Yourself. He kind of broke it down in the speech. Obama's smooth, man. He's smooth. I said Trump would be in trouble if he was going against him, but he's not. So Obama don't really mean too much, but he's out there pushing the agenda for her. Shout out. Michelle was out today. Beyonce came out. They was down in Texas. Kamala was out there. I think she came out for Beyonce came out for her. I don't know where Michelle was at. Pennsylvania, I think, or something like that. Trump was down there in Texas too, and of course, he's talking about the border. And when it comes to the border, it's more than just the border. It's immigration. And Trump is on record saying that he's going to have the biggest mass deportation in American history. He is going to do that. That's his plea. That's his promise. That's his pledge when he become in office. Once he become president again, he's having the biggest, the massive deportation of immigrants in this country's history. So he said he's either thinking of using the military if necessary to go door to door to round up illegal immigrants. And he's also going to change the laws for the Birth Act to, if you, just because you were born here, if your parents came here illegally and you were born here and your parents were here illegally, then you can be deported with your parents. And how far back he going with that? How many years he going back? We got a lot of people that's going like that are grown right now. They got other kids here. I mean, how far are you going back with that? He talking about going back to this law that happened in the 1700s. You can look that up too. He said Dwight Eisenhower in the 1950s. So he's he's in the one that did highway system, interstate system. Dwight Eisenhower. He said in the 1950s he had a deportation or something like that, immigration act that deported a lot of people. And he said he's going to do better. Trump said, I'm going to do better than Eisenhower. He said, but he did it. And he said that this law happened, it was a law on the books in the 1700s that he's going to use to justify. Make America great again. If he talking about going back to the 1700s and using some kind of law to deport people, now they say illegal, because he's talking about sending the kids, because if you born here, you here. But he's talking about if your parents is illegals and you was born here and your parents are illegal, you got to go too. What about black people? I'm talking about slavery. Come on, keep on telling y'all, man. Y'all better stop. If you forget the past, you repeat. That's fascism. They can change the laws. The only reason why black people are free to walk around and work and live and do the things we do is because of the 13th and the 14th and the 15th Amendment. Come on now. And if they can, and that's a law. That's a law. And he was on Joe Rogan talking about General Robert E. Lee and how he was a good general and how Abraham Lincoln was throwing fits. He said, Joe Rogan asked him, he said, so when you became, Joe Rogan even asked him this stuff. He just be going, and that's why it's not bait. So Joe Rogan asked me, he said, so when you became president, like what feeling did you get? Like your first day in the White House when you walked in, like what was the feeling? You know, how did you feel? And he said, Trump said, I was overwhelmed. He said, and I walked into the, he said, I had never been into the Lincoln bedroom. He said, I said, tell you, I've been in Washington, D.C. too many times, period. He's a New Yorker. He said, I walked in the Lincoln bedroom. He said, he was amazed. And, you know, there's a big bed because he was a tall man. Lincoln was like 6'6", 6'8", or something like that. He said, and he was overwhelmed. And he said he started thinking about how Lincoln was having fits over Robert E. Lee, the general, how they had won 20 battles in a war in a row or something like that. And he was a great general, you know, not saying that he was fighting for a good cause, but he was a good general. Now, he didn't say it like that, but you know what I'm saying? I guess it was kind of implied, and that's how Joe kind of took it. And it was just weird because Joe didn't ask nothing like that. It's like, how are you talking about that this Confederate general was a good general? Who cares how good he was? He was fighting for some evil stuff. And it's about, so that's why black people, real black people, oh, he's just talking in general because it's history. Those are black people that like that Confederate flag. It's the South history. It ain't good history for you. The Southern history connected to that Confederate flag is not good history for any black person in the South. And I ain't from the South. And I know that. And because of that, and because of black people that think like that, I'm trying to stay away from that. Now, I love my brothers from the South, but if anybody think like that, y'all got to stay away from me. If you don't think like that, then okay, we same kind of people. But anyway, back what I'm saying. Shout out to the South. Them Northerners. Anyway, so I don't understand how people can get sidetracked that if he wants to change a law that they won't come for you next. So then here in Ames, you got at the Iowa State campus, they had some stuff going on with the Inclusive Act, DIA or whatever it is. They're trying to push some crazy agenda against that, trying to get it out of the schools, out of all the Iowa State schools. They're trying to push it out, right? Trying to ban books. They're trying to do all this stuff. They come for you next. So just because you might not be a minority by looks, somebody you love could be. And if somebody you love is a minority and these laws pass, guess what? It affects them, so which in turn affects you. So in America, you don't have to be Democrat. You don't have to be Republican. And if you are a Democrat or if you are Republican, you're still an American. And you can choose any party you want to choose. And you are still my brother. You're still my sister. You're still an American. That's just who you choosing. Now, I may not like your choice, but that's okay. We can live to pick another choice, and I'll fight you again another day. When I say fight you, that seems political, not physical. I'm not against you. I'm just about my agenda, my issues, and I believe in humanity. You know, I don't believe in ticketing the homeless because they're homeless. Now, I don't want a homeless person living in my yard either. But if we go into that effect, why are we spending all this money, $1 million on beautifying these parks? Why do parks around in these suburban areas here in Iowa need $3 million boat docks and lakes and stock fish? $3 million? But you got homeless people down, you know, all these parks you renovating all around town, but you're talking about the homeless place. Why don't you set that up? Put that budget, okay, if it's 3.5, why don't you take 1.5 and help the homeless? Come on, man. Let's talk about that for real. See, that's what we mean. So the immigration thing, if Donald Trump really wins this election, he's pushing it. It ain't just the wall. He does talk about Hitler. You know what I mean? He's not saying he's gonna be Hitler, but why are you even bringing it up? Some of the stuff that's going on. We know how you feel about Putin. You got Iran, you got Korea, North Korea, and you got China helping Russia right now. And we worried about this stuff. Leadership. Somebody's got to lead. And I'm not sure Kamala can do it. I'm not. You know what I mean? I take that back. I know she can do it. I don't know if I want her to do it. Put it that way. I'm not saying, I know she can do the job. My apologies. I shouldn't have said it that way. She definitely can do the job. Hands down, I retract that. I didn't mean it that way. I misspoke. She can definitely do the job. I don't know if I want her to do the job. And the reason why I don't know, because I don't know if her plan helps my situation. There's a lot of black men. I think that's what Obama was talking about. And I'm not saying I'm not voting for it. When I make my decision, I make my decision. That's my choice until they try to take it from us. And I know they saying that Trump trying to take that from us. And I get it. And she trying to protect it. And I get that too. So that's a reason I might want to vote for it, because one of her things is she's trying to protect the right to vote. And then Trump saying she's trying to have it illegal. She's trying to get other people, I don't know, man. What we doing? Anyway. Great show. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I will put a clip up, hopefully. I've been getting this copyright. I don't know if you've been checking the show out. I've been getting a copyright. I haven't been affected. It hasn't been any bad things. Big Show had that T-Pain show at the end. That Big's clip I played at the end. So I'll put a clip in on this immigration. You want to check this out? This one I watched when he was talking about, you got to hear what he's talking about. I'll put it in here. You got to hear what he's talking about. Make a decision yourself. It's coming up real fast. Make a decision. Here we are. Halloween's around the corner. Spooky season. I love Halloween. You know what I mean? Not for the devilish demon things, just for the good time, the parties, and you know what I'm saying? I love candy. Who don't love candy? We all love candy. Oh my God! Oh yeah. We love candy. Anyway, so this has been Merle on the Move. MOTM. Don't forget, I will have the site, the website be coming up soon. I'll be putting a link up here for the website, so make sure you check it out. I had some merchandise. I had some gear, coming out. Support. Appreciate it. This is Merle on the Move. Peace.